think it opens a door for us to like, okay, start building bridges and start, understanding where you come from, and then start understanding the community that I'm from. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I have trust issues, and I don't think you guys would give me a
Oh
equal
no, I will.
chance.
I will.
Um,
There's a few of my friends and down there, and they'll tell you I'm pretty fair,
is D
especially
Diva
when
your
it,
friend?
huh?
Is D Diva your friend? Do you recognize that
I
name?
think she follows me, and if I don't, she has enough followers, but she'll tell you I'm pretty fair, and I allow people to talk on my platform, and if people start over talking, I will mute them, or my mods will mute them, and I'll make specific directions. Say, look, we're going to have this conversation. We're going to listen to Mr. Right Way. And if he says anything, let him finish, because then I will throw it on Showtime and let you talk, and I don't care how mad they get, because I want the people to hear your side, but I also want you to hear our side, our community. Because Live to Be Great and all of them, they have their own way of handling it. And look, I understand, their passion and where they're at. But me, I don't really go into their spaces, right? And the aunties, I don't really go into their spaces, right? Also comes to my spaces. He can tell you. Like I said, I mean, I just want you to understand is that I try to keep it fair for everybody. I mean, also, would you agree with that? When you come to my platform, don't I keep it pretty fair for everybody?
Well, Osa, I mean, do you think they're fair to white people? I think that's the question we need to ask.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, because
Sure.
also can vouch for me. I'm pretty fair when and allowing people to talk on my platform.
Yeah, man, because like I have an opinion that is very different from yours, and I still bring up people who are on the very opposite side, far left progressive people. And I mean, sure they have very different opinions than me, but what's the point of me muting them? If I think that I'm right and they're wrong, I'm gonna prove that, right?
Yeah, give me one
So
second. I'm listening.
yeah, so I think when people try to silence other people, it's because you don't have an argument. It's because you're so upset that somebody's proving you wrong, and your only scapegoat is to run away rather than to actually have a conversation. Rather than to actually have a debate, you'd rather go, "Oh, just mute that guy and kick him out of here. He's making us look bad." And I think that's very embarrassing. And I think the only fan base you have are other racist black people. And that's the truth. And that is why I have my platform, because I let people talk. It's not even about me, right? It's just about having a conversation. That's all it's about. And it's not even just, lives about racism. It's also lives about politics, about Trump and Biden, about gender ideology. You name the topic. And there's a group of people out there who just silence people. And, you guys know how it is.
No, like no, I understand what you're saying, and I've seen that where I went into spaces and I dealing with I don't speak on the trans or LGBT because I'm not part of that community. But when I go in there, right, I can't speak for their community. I can't do that because I'm not part of that community. And I think where people
But you're also not a part of the white community, bro.
right, but I'm saying that's the whole thing. And when we go into people's spaces, we have to be able to understand. We have to feel the room, understand how people feel, right? Because if you see a room full of, angry people, right? Like, well, I'm not gonna go. I've seen it. I've actually had to listen into spaces sometime and like, wait a minute, I am not going in that space because I've seen it. Even though it's a little off topic, Trump supporters, Biden, I've seen it. And I have to tell myself, I'm not walking into that space because I already know what's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Can
Well,
y'all hear me?
before Osa speaks, I just want to say, man, you are being respectful right now, Dark Truth.
mhm.
But I've had different experiences with you in the past. But Osa, did you want to say something?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just on the elevator. I was just getting to the office. Now. I'm sorry about that. I mean, like I said, I know Dark Truth, so I've had pretty decent conversations with him. I've been on his panels before. I would just say it's usually his friendlies that obviously have the issue. with, I guess, my opposing views, I would say. So sometimes a lot of the conversations can get heated. That's why I've also sort of taken a page out of your book too, as well, and hosted my own lives, because it's very encouraging when you try to be respectful and share your ideas and views, only to get pushed down in these 7v1 or 8v1 echo chambers. So it gets really frustrating because you feel like, the conversation is not being productive and you're not really going anywhere. So, I really appreciate you having and hosting this platform so that way people can have respectful dialogue and conversations. So I'm thankful for your platform.
Well, Elsa, when people are on my panel, don't I try to be fair and try to listen to people? No, am I pretty fair with that?
You try to, but it's just sometimes, like I said, again, it gets to one of those things where it's not you, but it'd be a lot of times the friendlies that have the issue. And again, things can get heated really quick. You know that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, like I
Not
said,
yeah.
what I
I'm
was
sorry.
saying earlier, because I do got to run, but I want to say this. This is a very sensitive topic, right? When you're talking about race issues, right? Because some people, they take it a certain way. Some people get triggered a certain way. And like I said, I want to go back to it, right? There was this whole thing going on TikTok where all people were saying that I said all white people are racist. I never said all white people are racist. I said white people do have some things they need to work on. I think white people are inherently racist. I think that, those are some of the things inside of them, right? Because you know what? If you tell me you're not a racist, but then, like I said, I'm going to go back to it, and I do have to run. But if you say you're not a racist, but then you start saying things and they're like, wait a minute, you just said this here. And I think we're addressing that issue and be like, look, this was wrong what you said. Let's talk about it. And then and people start getting combative and they start getting hatred. And like, wait a minute, bro, like, no. We need to address what you said. And that's how we start building the bridges to come together, right? And that way we can start having these conversations more. Right.
So can I ask a question? Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Because you mentioned inherently part. So do you think white people, as far as white Americans in this country, do you believe that they're born being racist, or do you think that that's a learned behavior?
Well, I think where I say inherently because the system will most likely benefits them, right? The system doesn't really benefit minority people. When you look at the numbers, I don't think it does, right? Now, I do believe, because I get a lot of pushback when I say this, right? But I do believe white people can experience systemic racism. I do. You will never hear me say anything outside that. But I do believe it affects the BIPOC community a little more restricted, right?
So that's a change from your previous position. Because I remember before you said that you feel like white Americans couldn't experience racism on a systemic level, but you're saying they can, is what you're
Well,
saying.
not like race. I think what I'm saying is this: is you have systemic racism that can affect anyone, right? Because we all know that the top, I don't care how you look at it. If you argue this here, then I don't think you understand how our system works, right? It's because you have the top 1%, right? That control everything. And what do? They build communities to keep people in, right? Give people low poverty, right? In both sides, right? We see that. And if you don't see that problem, then guess what? I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, all I would say is I partially agree with that statement. Kind of like, my position, like I said, I've told you this before. I believe that top 1% that you speak of, they use race as like a tool. They use
Yes.
it as a tool to create division. And then I'll add this, because I know there are other people on the panel, so I want to give them a chance to speak as well.
Mhm.
I'll say that racism, I believe, is an issue. However, it's a hyperinflated issue. It's
Right.
given more sort of credence than what it actually is. And again, it's the elites that use racial division by how they cover news stories, how they perpetrate certain ideas and propaganda, and not only in the mainstream media but in academia as well, that creates a sense or a level of division, not just between white people and black people in the U.S., but also between men and women as well. That's why you have this gender conflict. But I digress. I know other people want to talk, so
Yeah.
I digress.
No, but look, like I said, thanks for having me up. I do have to run. I appreciate the conversation. You have a good one.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming up here. All right, guys. So, Detroit, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
How's it going? I saw that we're friends. Have we had a conversation before?
No. Um,
No.
no, we never did. So I just got a question. What makes you feel like black people cannot be racist when history in school it's all about taking from blacks and killing blacks. I mean, we have Black Wall Street that was destroyed from us. I mean,
Detroit. I'm sorry, man, but I can barely hear you, bro. I can barely hear
can you
you.
hear me?
I can hear
Can
you
you hear
better
me now?
now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my question is okay, we have Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
We still get killed by cops. Um, I mean, you have even interracial people that date blacks. They also got to go through, the same treatment based on racism of, white people. So I don't understand of how can black people cannot be racist when you have a system that's built to destroy and to manipulate and control the black population. I mean, you had mentioned Obama. And one thing I realized with the propaganda, the agenda that they use certain black people to hush up the black community for you know, um, their own empowerment to keep, you know, black people from not knowing the truth of our real history. I mean, Black History Month is not controlled by us. So a lot of things, I mean, when you really look at the history, I mean, it's there. It's not deniable. White people, the government, they make sure that we know that the fucked up shit that they do to us. So for us to not complain and not to be upset about it, it's like how's we at fault? It's like the topic is like basically like we wrong for saying the real truth. It's like how can racists be mad at us for the fucked up shit that they do? I just never understand that. It just don't make sense. All the history, like all the like it's all there. They even make movies about slaving black people. Like I never understand like how is this is okay, but then it's like okay, cool. So black people supposed to just shut up. Black people
Can
supposed
I?
to just shut the fuck up. Like they can't be
Mind if I
racist.
respond
How
to
can
that?
black people not be racist? That don't make sense.
Do you mind if
Yeah.
I?
So,
Or
yeah,
no?
I'm gonna let Osa respond to that, but just so you know, Detroit, I'm not denying that America has been historically systemically racist or anything like that. I'm not denying none of that. But Osa, you can go ahead and respond to that, man.
No, no. So I was gonna say to the brother, I don't think it's wrong to speak on any type of injustice. That's obviously there are things that happened within the history of the United States that need to be addressed. So that's not wrong to mention it. I just think that we need to get and have a foundation where I think both sides can come together to have common ground, so that way we can have conversations in regards to the matter. Because I believe strongly that there are forces that are out there that are trying to consolidate power, and the way they do that is by sowing discord and creating division. So we have to start there first, I would say, and build the foundation and build from there.
Detroit, did you want to respond to that, or do you want
Can
to
I
pass the
speak?
mic
Wait, can I speak?
to Ari? Sure, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with like your topic, I think it's kind of confusing when you say black people can be racist and there's no good excuse for racism. Just because I believe that maybe I don't even like to say we can be racist, but if we're gonna go according to your definition, we can be, but that doesn't mean that people like you can still experience racism, because I feel like that's more of a system than just a me judging you based on your race.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, to you, I want to kind of get your idea. What is the definition of racism?
Well, for me, I think racism is more of a system than like a just a like a prejudice, like racist. I really don't even know the definition of racism. I know the definition of like racist of what I see, but there's
Okay.
so many different ones that I can't really choose
Okay.
which one or tell you which one is
I
right
think
or
that's
wrong.
fair. You know what? I'll say this. I think that's fair. But aren't you aware that racism it's also a belief too, as well as a system? It's an idea as well.
Yes, yes, I do agree.
Because you can't. Because I think you would agree with me when I tell you this. You can't really build a system without building it on a foundation of beliefs, principles, and ideas.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So it starts with an idea first. So if the belief is that one group is superior over the other, and you build the infrastructure for the sole purpose of suppressing said group, you would say that that is racist or racism. Is that right?
yes.
And also, you would say racist because also the term racist is also a belief system. If you or an individual believe that you are superior to another group of people and they are inferior, you are superior, that also makes you a racist too. And so, by that definition, anybody could be that.
Correct, but
Now,
I don't think we can really have like a. I mean, I can feel
yeah,
like the
as a
people
belief.
who.
So just to finish it off. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but before just to finish it off, racism is not only a system, but it's an ideology and a belief. So any human being can have an idea or a belief. That's why it's true as far as the statement is concerned that anybody can be racist because anybody can have an idea or a belief.
Right. That's why I just the racism thing part is the which is like getting me because I'm like I don't think like we can they can experience racism to like just me
Yeah,
personally.
you're talking about systemic racism.
Yes.
So I'll give you this. So technically, you're halfway right in the sense that African Americans have not systematically held white people down in the United States in the West, right, due to their race. So technically, you would be right. But I would argue that the tides are changing now as far as African Americans generating more wealth, creating more businesses. They have a huge spending power as well, getting to a position of power, becoming shareholders, CEOs. And so, if not to say this has happened yet, but it could, if you have a company that's owned, dominated by African Americans, and they deny white people, right, due to their race and not hire them, that is systemic racism. Like I said, I'm not saying that has happened, right, but it could happen.
Yeah, it
So,
could.
but isn't that fear mongering? Because
No,
also, but I think that is fear mongering because it has no historical backing. Because when because when Black
sure.
Americans did own our towns, and when Black Americans were in the power of our towns, we were business owner, doctors, inventors, all this. Guess what didn't happen? We did not put a foot, a boot on any white T person's neck, right? So when it comes to the definition of racism, I think it's kind of fascinating, kind of silly because you wouldn't tell a victim, a woman, a victim of grape, right?
Right.
If a woman was raped, you wouldn't now go to the rapist and have him write the definition of grape, right? It
No.
that would be that.
I'm listening. Go ahead. You're muted. You're muted. He's muted.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if he
who
knows
that
that.
was. Can you unmute him?
Yeah, he's muted because he was saying something and he got.
It doesn't let me unmute him, but I did not mute him. I'm not sure
That's
what
so
happened there.
weird. Okay, so yeah, so I guess I'll respond
Well,
to.
let me
I'm
drop him. I'm gonna bring him back up. See if that helps.
Yeah, bring up. Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna say I was gonna respond to him. So I think the problem with this discussion is that people are trying to redefine what racism is. I think that's sort of the problem. You have the Oxford Dictionary definition, Merriam-Webster, Cambridge, whatever you want to call it. They are clear as far as what the definition of racism is, but you have people who tried to take that and redefine it. I think that's sort of the issue.
May I
yeah.
say something?
Sure. But Simon, if you're in the comments, man, request to come up here, and I'll bring you up here. I'm not sure what happened earlier, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I'll let someone else speak. That's all I wanted to say. I think it's just the problem is that people are trying to redefine terms, and I think people use the term so much so to the point to where it's starting to lose its value and lose its meaning. And I think we have to start there. Definitions are there for a reason. They give us an idea of what a concept is. But then when you have people try to redefine it, I think that's sort of where the problem begins. And just to sum it up, I think, again, when you talk about racism, you're limiting the definition only to systemic, being a system, because that is one of the definitions. Not only is racism systemic, but it can also be an ideology or a belief too. That's what ism means. Ism is a suffix, and it also means system, but it also means idea, way of, or belief.
Right.
Hello? Hello?
Just so you know, Osa, Simon's back. What's up, MJ?
Yeah, I would like to say something if it would be all right.
Sure.
You know, the Dark Truth gentleman, I've listened to some of his lives, and, you know, if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's a turkey. No, it's a duck. And what's done in the dark is revealed in the light. My dad was a Baptist minister, and we were so poor, brother, we couldn't pay attention, okay? And I will tell you, if anyone wants to deny this, they're not telling the truth, but the black race is more forgiving in regards to monetary things. You can not have a whole lot, and they'll accept you much better than, you know, most other races. So when I grew up, the only friends that I had really, because we moved around a lot, were black people. And as time progressed, I have 3 girls and 2 of my daughters. With them, I have 5 interracial grandchildren. Now, the Dark Truth gentleman says you can't, you know, tell us how it is to be black. I would have to ask him then, how is it that you want retribution because of what went on with the slaves when you never were a slave? You can't have it both ways. It's got to be either one or the other. And then even to go one step further on that, what my great-great-grandfather did is no responsibility to me. I'm not responsible for his actions. I'm responsible solely for mine. And that's it. Now,
So
if we want to...
respectfully, I'll take both of those questions, right?
Well, I'm not through.
But
I'm
yeah,
not,
when
I'm not,
you're finished,
wait,
yeah,
wait,
go
wait,
ahead.
wait.
You need to let him finish and be respectful, please.
Thank you. Okay. So as I was saying, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm speaking to the gentleman who's putting on the live. If I wanted to get your answer, with no disrespect, sir, I would go to your live. So I would appreciate that when I address something to that person I'm addressing it to, you're just a guest while I'm speaking, if you don't mind, please. I hope that's not disrespectful. Now, let me continue. That being said, the real problem is, and no one seems to agree with this, and it's got terrible. There's only one race, and that's human. Let's just break it down. I am a faith-believing Christian. When I die, I'm going to go to heaven, and I'm going to be judged solely off of my works, nothing else. And if we could step back and look and realize that we're all the same. I agree to a degree that the 1% is playing us like a fiddle. They are controlling us through our own actions and ignorance. Let's get together, forget about race, and see how we as a human race can prosper. There's so many things going bad in the world to make racism something. We have old people eating dog food. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. We have veterans dying every day and can't get medical care. Brother, what do you think about this?
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I do think that we are just one race, the human race. And if I could, I would stop applying race to everything, whether it's an application, whether it's whatever. I don't think we should talk about race, but unfortunately, we are. And we are because of politics and many different other things, because they use that as part of their campaign, and they use that because they have to at this point. And so we're never going to stop talking about race, unfortunately. But the only thing we can try to do is unite, and it's never going to be 100%. But right now, I think what's happening is now, like being openly racist towards white people, or in this at this moment anti-Semitism because of everything that's going on with Palestine and Israel. I think all these things should not be happening in 2024 because we've progressed so far. And MJ, what you said about having interracial family members, some people will say you're tokenizing, and they'll tell you to stop saying that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess
Well,
I'll let Sign.
I have one question.
I could say that if they want to say that I'm tokenizing, then I would say you're being ignorant, trying to describe about what it's like slavery days when you've never experienced it. So if you want to say I'm tokenizing something that I've experienced as a life experience, why are you allowed to share your life experiences, but I'm not? So it always boils down, to be honest, to who really wants to be with themselves and who wants just to try to support a talking point. This is something that I've experienced in daily life. I'm 63. I'll be 64 in September. I love them babies just like my youngest daughter. I've never had a grandmother that had anything to do with me. My mother's mother was a drunk. She died when I was real young. My dad's mother lived in Michigan. And I now have a granny, my youngest daughter, her two oldest children, her father, his mother is his granny is now my granny. She loves me. I call her granny. She treats me just the same, buys me stuff, checks on me. It don't matter to me, man. But I just get frustrated and I'm sorry if I sound disrespectful to you, but I hate the word token. People use that
Yeah.
because they're ignorant and a way to try to justify something when they really don't want to admit the truth.
But you go all the way back to slavery, like
Wait, hold on,
the
wait. Can't.
segregation. I just wanted to say he goes back to all the way to slavery. Like segregation wasn't.
Yeah, Ari, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that, MJ. Like, I get where you're coming from, but there's some people who have a grandparent or maybe even a mother or father who did live through, Jim Crow laws and stuff like that. But I
Not
see what you're
slavery.
saying, MJ.
Not
We
slavery.
just-
So
Hold
can
on.
I
Listen.
can
Not
I
slavery.
end? Can I
Yes,
put
sir.
this on the
Yes,
table?
sir.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
it's strange, right? In this month of Juneteenth, okay, in this very month, this Juneteenth month, I find it ironic that YT sympathizing or YT vitriol is the topic, right? I find that very strange because uh he talks about going back to slavery when we're actually in the actual month where all the slaves was free, right? And guess what? I understand when YT people like to say, "Oh, my family never owned a slave."
If you're gonna continue
Oh,
to
But
it's
say
your,
again,
that,
oh,
he's
so
been
you're not
excuse
going to
me,
be
disrespecting the whole
respectful.
excuse me.
time.
Okay,
No, I'm not.
okay, so
I
you're
do not.
not going to be
YT,
respect. You
if you want to
see,
call me,
you see
if you
me?
want to
So
call me
you're
a
not
Stop.
going
name,
to
call
be
Wait,
me
hold
Oh
on,
my
respectful.
God.
MJ.
I
Stop.
do
Keep it
not want to
guys,
hear the
guys,
word
guys,
Listen,
guys.
YT.
Juneteenth
This
get them
is
every
sad.
time, yo.
No,
Stop.
not
Let's
no
keep it
white.
respectful. Let's keep it respectful, one at a time. We
All
can't talk
right.
over each
Yeah.
other.
MJ, I don't like to mute people, man. So let's just let him finish. All right. And then we'll let you respond to that.
So yes, Juneteenth gets the YT attitude gets it boiling very quickly. Because what Juneteenth does is it makes them realize that that 4th of July holiday they've been celebrating this whole time is actually the day slavery became legal, right? All right. It was since he's the one who brought it up. He wanted to bring up slavery, so I'm just gonna ride that coattail. Thank you.
That's
Right?
fine. That's
Hey,
fine, brother. No
hey, be
problem.
respectful, sir. Sit on your
No, I'm
hands,
just
Mr.
agreeing with
Mike.
you. I'm
Hey,
I
sorry.
agree.
Karen. Hey,
Yeah,
I don't need your approval. That's the funny part, right? So
you're
since you
right. It
brought
is
up
funny.
slavery, right? The funny thing is this nation was under the British rule for a while, right? And then in 1776,
Yes.
they had a chance. They actually had a chance to fix this whole thing. But you know what they chose to do? They chose to do the complete wrong thing. They chose to make slavery completely legal, right? And then they celebrated 4th of July this whole time. But then when Juneteenth becomes The 100 years later, by the way, of the Revolutionary War and the Civil War were not the same day. I think a lot of YT migrants think these things happened back to back.
Well, I'm
They did
sorry you
not
used that
happen.
word.
Hey, sir, when I'm speaking, you put a hot dog in your mouth, right?
Yeah,
And
you
shut
need
it,
to be respectful.
all right?
You did the
Well,
same
So,
hold
for
on.
you.
no,
Chill
no, I'm
yourself.
speaking.
Chill
I'm
yourself. I'm a
speaking.
grown man like
All
you.
right, you
Chill
need to put
yourself.
bread, stuff it. Hey,
Chill
stuff it,
yourself.
sir, stuff it,
Hold
You
on,
might
hold on,
want
hold
to
on,
take
hold
your
on,
own
hold on.
advice.
I
stuff
mean,
Don't
it.
we
call.
gotta land the plane though at
Yeah,
some
no,
point.
no,
Please
no, wait.
respect the.
Everybody else gets to speak. Wait, time out, Osa. Everybody gets to play their violin, but when I become the musician, it's like, damn, that boy knows some funk, right? When I pull that bass guitar out, right? I get it.
No,
All
I feel
right.
you. We just
So
gotta
yeah,
land
let
the
me
plane.
let me continue, please, sir, because I'm being respectful. I very right. So as I was saying, this country had a chance to fix it right then and there, but they chose not to. They chose to continue chattel brutal slavery for another 100 years up until 1865, right? And then in 1865, you know what happened? There was an emancipation that happened. There was a freedom of actual people. This is the actual Freedom Day. June 19th is the actual Freedom Day for all U.S. citizens. And guess what? At that time, the government, capital GOV, agreed to Special Field Order 15, right? At that time, all these YT uh, migrants or descendants of YT migrants today, yes, your family did not uh, have any slaves because guess what? You just wasn't. I guess you're not good enough to be a plantation
May I ask a
descendant, right?
question? May I ask one?
I am Osa in a second. I already did this with you yesterday, Osa. So be patient. The fact is this: when all the Ellis Island immigrants and their families came over, guess what these Ellis Island immigrants did? They pledged allegiance to the United States government. All right, the YT plantation owner actually used your aunts, your grandmother, and your uncle and your aunts, used them as pawns, right? And made them agree to the debts of the United States of America. And when you migrate to a country, guess what you do? You pick up the debts and the law of this new country. When this country had already promised 40 acres in the mule, emancipation, Special Field Order 15. These are all things that's in our legislation right now, right? So when white tea people say, well, why do you get to talk about the past and I had nothing to do with that? It doesn't matter. You pledged allegiance to this government's law. All right. You pledged allegiance to what this government said they would do. You pledged allegiance. So guess what? When your family became naturalized, you naturally now have pledged allegiance to what the law of this nation says you shall pay up to. And if you don't like it, you can go back home. Right? Because our issue isn't even with you local basic YT people. It's not with your basic self. Our issue is with the government. Your ancestors pledged allegiance to the government, the laws and promises of the government. So whatever trickles down to you, like I said, you can go back home if you don't like it, right? Last thing while I'm landing. Last thing while I'm landing. We have
Yes,
trust
please
issues.
land.
Yeah. We have trust issues too, right? And you can't call our trust issues racist, right? I wouldn't even call our trust issues prejudice. I wouldn't call them bigot. I would probably call them prejudice, sure. But guess what? The prejudice, non-trust, the trust issues we have with white T people, is all evidentiary. We have all evidence to it because those same Ellis Island migrants and their family members are the main ones who joined, who pushed this very bad Jim Crow and redlining and all these other issues. It was really their immigrants who did that bad work because the plantation USA government told them you can now call yourself YT. Because they wasn't calling themselves YT in Europe. Nah, they were actually their nationality. But the plantation government told these migrants, told these Ellis Island migrants, you can call yourself YT if you treat the blacks like trash. That's what happened, and that's why you shall pay for the sins of your father. Because not only did they agree to the government's law, they actually participated in the government's law. Right? I'll chill for a second. I know the YT supremacists. Their thumbs are tight right now. They're sweating. They're they're turning red. I'll go on mute.
You mind if I? Well, I know I want to let other people speak too, so I'll mute for now.
Yeah, I mean, also you could speak if you like, man. I know you try to, but yeah, go for it. And then I have something to say to Dantrel.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna try to make it quick. So,
All right.
I held a live just the other day about trying to identify the problem and then come up with a solution. I think the problem here is that we talk about a lot of issues and problems because, I'll admit there are problems that do need to be addressed. But I think the issue that I'm having is that when we ask for, okay, what are the solutions to these problems, there's always an impasse, there's a disagreement, and we can't ever come to a consensus as to, number one, what the problem is, and number two, on how to fix it. Because I've been on this app for 2 years, going on 3 years, 2.5 going on 3 years. It's just a lot of echo chambers. It's a lot of toxicity. It's a lot of arguing, bickering, name calling, to the point where it really doesn't address any type of issue or come up with a solution. So I think the key is, like I said before, is that we have to come together to be able to talk on these issues, and then we have to come up with tangible solutions.
Yeah. You hear that, Dantrel?
I was in that live with Osa.
Yeah, Dantrel was there. He knows.
I was in that live, but Osa trying to come with a solution.
Yeah, I was also in your live, Dantrel, a while back, and I have a screen recording of you being really racist to me.
Believe me, if I had I snapped back. So you apparently
I
said
have video evidence.
You apparently
I have video evidence.
Yeah, you probably clipped out the part that you said. I'm known on this
you want to know what I said?
app. I am known on this app as a person that has YT allies and everything else, and that if you do come at me sideways, I come harder.
Okay, because the question I asked you is, do you hate white people? And you went on a crazy rant.
No, you asked me.
So is that your version of snapping back? That's your version?
Also,
Yes.
am I known as a person who hates white people?
We addressed this. I asked you if you did. You said no.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact,
I have a video recording of you being a racist POS. So do not deny it.
Hey, first of all, I'm going to say this, and you're not going to trigger me. I need you to know this. I don't give a damn what you feel about me.
Oh, I know, because you're racist.
Okay.
So then let's put it on the table.
Let's go have the conversation, because
I'm sorry, Osa.
I need people.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I need people.
I'm sorry, Osa.
I'm
sorry, Osa, but this man, I don't care if he's nice to you, Osa. This man is a bad man. This guy, yeah, you said you said some horrible things about white people, Dantrel. You said some horrible things about white people.
What did I say?
And all I asked you, the only thing I asked you,
what did I say directly?
bro, you got suspended for a reason.
What did I say?
You want me to repeat it?
Today, I got 17 accounts because people like you get in your feelings and report me for nothing.
Damn,
bro, I literally have video evidence, bro.
Then show it. If you have the video, show it.
Wait, do you realize that the things he was saying, like he got banned? He got banned in the middle of that rant because of the crazy stuff he was saying.
I get banned because.
And all I asked you, Dantrel, was I asked you if you loved white people or if you hated white people, and you got really mad, bro. And then you have these lives with that lady auntie, and you're raising money. You're raising money, bro. Look, listen, you're raising money.
Show that.
Your
Can
hatred.
I ask you a question to right way? Can I ask you a question?
Hold on. This guy, real quick. This guy and everyone he's associated with live to be great. Auntie, I don't know her real name, but Auntie and all those other people, right? All of those people push hatred on a daily basis, and you guys are raising money for what? For racism? for
No,
hatred, for negativity, you're grifters.
you want that question
You-
answered?
No,
Do you want- do
you
you
and
want the
everybody you're
question answered?
associated with
Do you
are
want the question
grifters.
answered?
You're a grifter and
Do
you push
want the
negativity.
question answered?
No, no.
Can I
don't.
can I
No.
ask? So I want to
So-
ask a question real quick. Hold up, real quick, because again, I wanna try to come up with a solution. Maybe we can have some dialogue here. So I'm gonna address my comment to Right Way. I don't know of any comments that Dantrel said. I don't know. But like I said, he's probably the only one on the left that I can actually talk to. And obviously, we've talked to the same people. Most of the people on the left that I've bumped into, they obviously have issues with me, and my stances. But like I said, if there are comments that are attributed to Dantrel that are negative, I don't know about them because again, most of the interactions I've had have been respectful, at least. So I don't know, if what you're saying is true.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of hatred for white people. So I'm guessing they just treat white people different. But I want Dantrel to know that I've actually donated money to Auntie, man. I have nothing against you. And if you guys really are trying to uplift the black community, I'm all for that, bro. I'm not against that at all. But I'm just saying the hatred and negativity, and I could show you a screenshot of the money I donated to Auntie if you don't believe me. I am for uplifting the black community. And if that's what you guys are doing, I think you guys said you were helping victims of domestic violence or something like that. I'm all for that, bro. But when you start attacking white people and pushing that negativity and hatred, like if you're respectful to Osa, but then you're out there disrespecting other people, man, I can't respect you.
So
And
then-
Dantrel, I just want to say, man, I have nothing against you, man, but the truth has to come out. And the truth was you were very racist, you were very negative, and you guys are grifters. I just want to say that.
So then, Dantrel, let me address you really quick. So, like I said, again,
Hold
I've been.
on, Osa. You can
I'm sorry,
address-
go ahead.
I promise to let you address. I don't have to grift. Osa tell you he's lived in my city. I'm a fucking legend. I don't have to grift on. I have raised $36,000 and gave it directly to people, and there are hundreds of people who've seen me do it. Okay,
That's good. I'm not saying that's bad.
Hold on, Osa lived in my city. He's seen monuments dedicated to me. My face is on a national monument, and you think I have to grift on TikTok? You don't know
Yeah,
anything about me.
So can I?
You're-
So real quick.
CNN,
So the guy who has a
So-
monument is actually a racist behind closed doors. Is that what you're telling me? You're a grifter.
Wait, hold on. So I have to address this out. So this is the Dantrel. Like I said, and to Right Way as well. I want to try to get the conversation moving so that way we can really get into having a productive conversation. But I'm gonna keep it a buck, Dantrel. Now, I don't know the interaction that you had with Right Way, but I guarantee you probably if it was kind of the way that I thought, maybe you went off and probably said some things that you didn't mean to.
Oh, if you push me, I'll say. If you push me forward, I'll go 10 times fast.
Yeah, you may have went off and you probably said some things that didn't mean to.
Yeah.
So you're admitting that you just probably got mad in the heat of the moment, just said some stuff.
Yeah, he probably went off. Probably.
Yeah,
'cause things
that's
said,
my
I
MO.
think we all do
That's
it.
my
We
MO.
all do it sometimes.
To be
my
fair,
MO.
so we can move on from that. At least you own it. That's fine. We can
Damn
kind of
right.
move on from that. So let's move on from that. Let's be.
I think first of all that's a sign of weakness because after all the things you told me, Dantrel, I'm not doing the same thing to you right now, and I don't think that's an excuse.
You just called me.
He
a
said
racist.
something. He said something I don't like, so I'm gonna say a bunch of racist things. I'm gonna go on a racist rant because you said something that I disagree with. That's a bunch of bullshit.
But he's saying
That is not an
wrong.
excuse.
But
he's
I
saying
think
he's wrong.
he can acknowledge that he maybe said some things and maybe he was wrong, right, Dantrel? You can.
Yeah,
acknowledge
but my whole thing is he had to say something along that way for me to get upset.
I asked you.
You're not taking responsibility of what you said to get me upset.
So you
I
know
asked
what?
you. I asked
What
you if
did
you
you say?
hated. I asked you if you
Well,
hated.
if you'd have told me,
Sir.
if that was the only thing you asked me, I would have said, no, I don't hate white people. I don't. I can't. Most of my patrons are white.
I asked you. Do you?
I'm sponsored by Capital One. I'm sponsored by Neiman Marcus. I mean, what would I do? What would I be looking like?
I asked you, sir, if you hated. I asked you if you hated or loved white people. You said, "Hell no, I don't love white people," and you went on a racist rant. I'm not going to repeat the things you said
No,
because it was horrible.
I'm just going to say this. That would be a lie. You got to be some context in between that. It has to be some context between that. Even people in your comment section saying, no, that's not true.
Do y'all do screen recordings?
I
'Cause
think
when we go live in my group, we always screen record everything.
yes, ma'am. I have the clip, and also I think you just have a lot of hatred towards white people, Dantrel, and it's okay to admit that.
But you know
I
what?
don't. I'm
Can
sorry.
we just stop?
Okay,
there?
hold on.
Hold,
You
hold,
hold,
hold, hold.
hold on.
I
Hold
just
on.
say this. Say hold. So you
If I had it,
very
be honest
quick,
with
real
you,
quick,
if I
real
had
quick.
it, I would
hold
say
on,
it.
Dantrel, hold on, host. So you're using two very strong descriptive words. You're using hate, and then you're using racism. Like these are two very strong descriptives, right?
Are you religious, Simon?
Mm, I'm not the creator. I believe in the creator, but religion is something terrible that has been put on black people. So
Okay, so do you believe in good and evil at least?
good and evil, yeah, I'll do the good and evil, sure.
Because I could be wrong, but I think you said something religious earlier, like God is going to judge or something like that. You said something like that. It's not word for word,
No, I said
but
nah.
if you
What I
believe,
said was I said nothing religious. What I said was I mimicked what YT people say. Why do I have to pay for what my grandparents did? And I said that's why you shall pay for the sins of your father. That's what I said.
no, I think I heard something else. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that if you believe in God, right? God teaches that we should love people and that we should forgive, right?
And
And
that's also fake. God is a
so
warrior. If you read the Bible, he done smoked a lot of people for just simply being hard headed. He done opened up the ground and shot a whole group of families in there and closed it up and said, you're hard headed. God is a warrior, all right? The man don't play around. The man actually gives rules to your
right, but
enemy.
all I'm
That's
trying to
your enemy.
prove,
He says smite them, right? So
look,
I
sir,
don't know
this might be.
that fluffy Christian
We
white
got to be careful
man
with that
sitting on the
semi.
that
We got to be
Yeah,
careful.
wait, hold
nah.
on, hold on. So, wait, is your name Simi?
It's Simon.
Simi?
Simon.
I'm in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I apologize
good.
for
You're
mispronouncing.
good.
But what I'm trying to say is that I believe in God, right? And I don't subscribe necessarily to the Christian religion, but I do believe in God, and I believe in good and evil. And I think hatred is evil. So why would I hate black people? Why would I hate black people because Dantrel said some racist things to me, right? So why would Dantrel hate white people as a whole? I
Okay.
understand if he,
I'm
I
a
understand
Christian.
Dantrel. If you have a problem
As a
with racist
Christian,
white
as a
people,
Christian, let me say this to you unequivocally right now, eye to eye. I don't hate anyone because I was raised a Christian. I don't hate anyone. I disagree with people vehemently, but I don't have the energy to hate. So no, I do not hate YT people. I do not hate black people. I do not hate anyone. Now, if you can take that for your word,
Amen.
if you can take that for your word, you can continue to believe what you want to believe. This is America. You can believe what you want to believe, but unequivocally, you have me on camera saying I don't hate anyone.
yeah, you didn't say that you hate white people. You just got really mad when I asked you if you loved them. So I just want to clarify on that.
If it was I can give a context. If we were talking about issue that was going towards another direction and you interrupted it and asked me to solidify if I loved white people, I may have taken it as you were centering white people in a situation that we weren't even talking about white people. And if I feel like you're centering, even if a black person, if I'm talking about something else and a black person came in and said, do you love black people? Or do you hate black people? Or do you have a problem with black people? I'm going to take that as an insult, actually, that you even had to ask that.